changing lives.
AM 560, The Answer.
Welcome back to the show, all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship is the way I would sum up my next guest. Jeff Zucker is the president of Green Lion Partners. Been involved in media companies, properties all over the country, based in Denver. But again, a serial entrepreneur with experience in a wide range of industries, including real estate, hospitality, entertainment, ice hockey, and, believe it or not, cannabis. Jeff, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So it's great to have you on the show today. Tell me a little bit about everything that you're up to, because it's almost hard to keep track of all of the entrepreneurial projects of Jeff Zucker.
Yeah, happy to. Yeah, it can be hard to keep track of for sure at times, but I try to keep everything pretty organized. I started doing real estate development when I was in college, and that's sort of my bread and butter. It kind of fuels my other passions, fortunately. And I've got residential properties, 2 to 7 unit buildings in Boston, Chicago, and Jersey City, and continuing to grow that. Meanwhile, I've got a film production company in LA. We're working mostly on some comedic projects, working on a few tech projects, and then where most of my headspace goes these days is to the cannabis industry and my company, Green Lion Partners.
Interesting. So you have become an expert on the subject. You've become involved in policy, watching the changes throughout the country. So I'd love to pick your brain on that and talk about some of your ventures in a number of businesses relating to cannabis. I'm curious first to get your take on where you see this going in the country. Do you see any time in our lifetime a change in the federal statutes relating to cannabis?
Absolutely. I mean, I try not to say ever that it's inevitable in this space, because there's always a lot of advocacy to keep working toward. But the laws are beginning to change. We've got good medical programs or more in 29 states and counting. And so I think, it's only a matter of time until we see a change at the federal level. People have seen the incredible things this is doing for a variety of ailments, for tax revenue, for jobs. And, I would say I would be surprised if it doesn't happen in the next, 5-ish years. I think, before this administration came on board, I might have guessed sooner. But obviously, it's hard to tell what this team is going to do. But yes, I do think that it's closer than a lot of people think.
Interesting. So you've touched on the healthcare, medical reasons. You've touched on the financial reasons for whether it's state or federal government. But let's talk about the business side, which I know you're very, very familiar with. Through your work through Green Lion Partners. So tell us a little bit about, I know you've been involved in a number of verticals relating to cannabis. What have you been involved in, and where have you seen the opportunities?
Sure. So Green Lion, just to give a little background, we've evolved into a hybrid operating and holdings company. So we've invested in companies in the space, mostly on software, services, and accessories side, the ancillary side of the industry that doesn't touch the plant. We do have one investment that does touch the plant in Whoopi and Maya, Whoopi Goldberg's cannabis line. Really, we got to know the industry over time and have seen quite a bit of deal flow and, started a few of our own companies. And I think that from an investment perspective and a business perspective, there's an incredible number of opportunities on the ancillary side of the industry. I think those that touch the plant, like cultivators and dispensaries, have an opportunity to make some cash right now, but the policies on those sides are ever changing and the economics of it are ever changing. I tend to focus on the companies that support the industry. Our biggest investment is into a company called FlowHub, which is a POS and inventory management platform. It's a enterprise software built from the ground up for the cannabis industry. So, for me, that's where the opportunities are, and the companies that can be real game changers that can even scale into other industries.
Interesting. And I know you and I have spoken a little bit about cannabis advocacy, even with other countries? I know you've been involved in some conversations and possibly even organizing a bit of a mission with a number of folks in the industry out to Israel. Do you mind talking a little bit about that?
Happy to. So, I've been involved in the cannabis space for 3 years or so, and in this industry, that's kind of a long time. And I noticed that the incredible work that's going on in Israel, and they're doing the best tech and medical research when it comes to cannabis in Israel. And there are a lot of Israeli advocates and Jewish people in the cannabis industry. And our friends and I decided that we should try to bridge the gaps between those groups, and worked with a couple partners to create the America-Israel Cannabis Association. And that's helping American companies, partner with Israeli companies by doing research there and having Israeli companies, license their technology out to companies here. Because Israel's government embraces researching the plant, it's that's why they're able to get so far ahead. And it's something unfortunate about the market here, but we're trying to make that less of an issue for companies in the U.S.
Fascinating. So you've talked a little bit about the benefits again on multiple levels on business, around jobs. So many jobs being created. The sort of stimulus to the economy, really important. But there's something interesting on your website, which of course we'll share with our listeners as they read a little bit about the fantastic team behind Green Line Partners and the many ventures that you're involved in. There's a button to donate, which is a button that you usually don't see on a business website, and I think it's summed up in the in something that it says on the website about you. It says that you make business decisions with combined goals of profit and purpose. Jeff, that's unique. You don't see that a lot in business. Tell me a little bit about why you work so hard and why you do what you do.
Sure, I appreciate you noticing that. And my late father, his goal was tikkun olam, repair of the world, and I try to continue that in my efforts. And I believe the cannabis industry is a big aspect of that. I've seen, some of the medical things that this can help. Whether it's cancer or Alzheimer's or epilepsy or anxiety. I think that bringing cannabis to more people and just giving patients better access, more research is really paramount in improving a lot of lives. And so, within our website to have that donate button is really important to us. We think that this industry was born of advocacy. So to me, it's very important that all businesses that are involved remain rooted in those causes and, continue the fight to end the drug war and to end racial disparity, in drug enforcement and things like that. So, in growing these businesses and helping them build a solid foundation from which to grow on, we're hoping to sort of build that into the fabric of the cannabis industry, this advocacy. So for us, it's just part of the job.
That's incredible passion. So again, we're chatting with Jeff Zucker, the president, CEO, Green Line Partners, and a number of other ventures, certainly focused on business, but also focused on, as you said, repairing the world and trying to through your businesses make the world a better place. Really important. We've got just about a minute remaining, and Jeff, I'd love to ask. You've been successful in business, and I'm sure there's so much more of the Jeff Zucker story that will continue to be written. What advice do you have for other entrepreneurs that might just be getting started in business in 2017 or 2018?
I would say just have a very open mind and know that you don't know much. Life in business especially is just a continued learning experience. So, be careful with who you trust, give things time and have an open mind. And, if you're looking to get in a new industry, whether it's the cannabis industry or something else, I suggest immersing yourself and really getting as educated as possible before you jump in.
That's great advice. And Jeff, you throughout your many ventures, I know you've been very committed to helping a lot of people get started in business. And I know you're certainly a big part of your business is investing in companies, investing in ideas. With that in mind, how can folks learn more about your ventures and potentially get in touch?
Absolutely. Well, they can check out greenlionpartners.com. You can follow us on social media. There's also a contact form on that site. any questions or interest about getting involved in the space, or just, want to get some more information, we're happy to help.
That's great. Jeff Zucker, thanks so much for joining us, greenlinepartners.com. Check it out. Lots of great information. And speaking of small business, we will be chatting with Elliot Richardson, our good friend, returning guest on the program, about the Small Business Advocacy Council's agenda, including lowering the cost of being in business in the state of Illinois. That's coming up right after this quick break. You're listening to Get Down to Business. We'll be right back.
An AM 560.